Hi, welcome, and I hope you're doing well. This video here will be showing you a step-by-step tutorial on how to replace an iMac hard drive as well as the LCD screen. I have this pry tool. The reason why I'm having this pry tool is to go ahead and cut the adhesive all along the screen. So there's no screwdriver needed because everything is glued onto this double-sided adhesive tape. This pry tool, I want you to have about this much. You try not to stick all the way in, which would damage whatever component inside. So all you need is about this much to cut the adhesive tape all along the side. Okay, so let's get started. Let's just go ahead and go along the screen. I have the iMac laid down, but you can actually have the iMac standing up while you're cutting it. The reason why I'm laying down here, just because I'm making the video, I can't have the iMac standing up. So that's the reason why I have the iMac laid down. Okay, once I have that being cut, let's see if I can stand it up a little bit. Yeah, actually standing the iMac is a lot easier to do than laying down the iMac, okay? So go ahead and slowly cut it, and if you feel like the adhesive is still glued onto the iMac, you can come back again and recut it again until you get until the iMac screen is loose. Okay, so it's pretty much almost there. Okay, I have the iMac screen detached. Okay, as you can see, I open right about this much. Okay, and here you see this power cable. Okay, go ahead and just pull slowly. There's no clip, you just kind of pull and you'll come right out. Okay, this cable. Then the next one would be this LCD 40-pin connector. You want to flip. There's a little, not a clipper, but you can flip it, and that way you would detach the iMac screen. Okay, so this is the one I was talking about. Once you have that done, and the whole iMac screen will just come right out. Okay, so for those of you who wants to replace the iMac screen, there you have it, right? You remove the screen and replace with the new one. Now for those of you who wants to continue the process and replace the hard drive, and here's the hard drive. Okay, this is the Torque 8 screwdriver, and there are 4 screws that holds onto the hard drive. Okay, I want to show it to you. The screws are not all the same. So as you can see, some of them are shorter and some of them are longer. So the short one is on the top right corner here. The longest one would be the bottom right. Okay, on the left here, the two screws are the same, and that would be on the left here. Okay, once you have that removed, so the hard drive, you can go ahead and disconnect the cable. So there are two cables here. Go ahead and pull and disconnect. This is the regular hard drive that spins, but if you want a solid state drive, which is I recommend to have it, it's a lot faster, and you can go ahead and install the solid state drive. Okay. It doesn't really matter on the brand. I'll be using this one for now, but for those of you who wants to have a Samsung, a different brand like Luxar, Crosshair, the all solid state drive would work the same. Okay, so there's no screws on here. Pretty much you just open it up just as like that. Okay, put in a new solid state drive. The next step is to go ahead and put it back in. So we have the bracket back on. So again, there are 4 screws that holds these 2 brackets. Okay, once you have this done, you're pretty much halfway through completion. The next part here I want to show you is you can see that the original Apple adhesive tape is still stick onto the base. You want to remove this, okay? The reason why you're going to remove this is because when you apply the new like double-sided adhesive tape, it doesn't stick well with the leftover residue, the tape here. So by removing this, you get a better way of sticking the adhesive tape, the new adhesive tape here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and remove everything all around the iMac. Okay, so what I have done so far, I removed the leftover original adhesive tape on the base. Now you have to do the same for the LCD glass. I'll show it to you. The LCD is still have that residue here, so you need to remove this in order for a good contact with the new double-sided tape on it. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that now. Okay, there you have it. So I'll come back here. Okay, so this is the double-sided adhesive tape. All right, so I have two-sided, one on the left. Back here to press it on tight, and then come back to do the right side. Okay, finally would be from the top. All right, so I'm just coming back here, press it tight, make sure that the tape has a good grip onto the base. All right, so there you have it. And the next step I'll be doing is to remove the plastic, and I can put the screen back on. So for those of you who wants to replace a broken LCD screen, once you put it on, that's pretty much you're good to go. But for those of you who replace the hard drive like what I did here, putting a new hard drive doesn't have the operating system, so you will not able to boot onto the iMac wouldn't boot up, and you would have to install the OS, and I'll show it to you on a separate video. But as for now, we're just going to do the installation part, and after it's done, I'll show you on how to install OS on a new drive. Okay, at this point it's very critical, because what you're trying to do is to align the corner, the bottom right corner, with the iMac here properly, and also have the base, this bottom base here, to sit right at the base on the iMac. Okay, so this is kind of supporting the screen by the screen sitting on top of it. So when you want to put it on, you want to go from the top and slide it, not slide it in, but kind of align. Make sure it's properly aligned, and then go from there, and then slowly have it here. Now do not forget to connect the two cables, right? So you need to have this LCD cable, stick it in. Okay, and make sure you have the clip to clip back on, and then this is another cable, which is you're just pushing. Okay, once you have the two cable connected, go ahead and sit the screen down. And pretty much that's it. So go ahead and press it all along the corner. Make sure you have a good seal. Alright, so at this point here, you're pretty much done. You get to see on how to replace the screen and also replace the SSD drive. The next video, I have the next video in the description below, will show you on how to install the OS on the iMac. Alright, thanks for watching, and I hope this tutorial helps you. Hi, welcome, and I hope you're doing well. In this video here, I'll be showing you on how to create a OS bootable USB drive and also a fresh install OS on an iMac. Previous video, what I did, I changed out the regular hard drive to an SSD drive. So with the new SSD drive, I need to have a fresh macOS install on it. So to do so, I need to have a bootable USB disk. Okay, so the first thing first you need to have is at least a USB drive that is 8 gigs or larger. If you happen to have data on the USB drive, make sure you save or back up your data before you follow the process. The reason is because when you create a bootable USB disk, all the content on the USB will be erased. So make sure that you back up your data if you have any. If not, get a brand new USB drive, 8 gigs or larger. So second, you need to have a working Apple computer. Any computer that is Apple, that's fine. Okay, so once we have the two things ready to go, and the next thing is to stick the USB into the working Apple computer. Okay, go ahead and open up this utility. So as you can see, I have the USB insert into my computer, and the next step you will need to do is click erase. You can call it as OS USB drive or anything for now, so I just name it OS USB drive. Okay, and click erase. Okay, once it's done, as you can see, the icon is right here. So once it's done, you can see the icon, the USB icon, comes back up on the top right corner screen right here. Okay, so once that is done, click OK, click done, and you can minimize the disk utility. We are done with that. Okay, so what we want to do is go ahead and download macOS from an Apple store. So open up Safari. Any browser is okay, but I'm using Safari at the moment. So go ahead and search for OS Mojave download. And the first one, I'll click on how to upgrade to Mac OS Mojave. At the screen, I'll go ahead and scroll down until I see this link. It says, if you still need Mac OS Mojave, use this App Store link to get it. The reason why I'm not going to Catalina, because my iMac is a little bit on the older version, so I'd rather just stay with Mac OS Mojave for now. So you click here, it will redirect you and open up the App Store application. Okay, so this window here, go ahead and click Get, and this may take about some time for you because it needs to download. Okay, for this reason, I already downloaded, so let me jump to the next step. You want to go to your application folder. So go to Finder and go to Application folder, and as you can see, I already have the install macOS ready at this point here. So go ahead and right click, show package contents, go to contents, double click resources, and we want to pay attention to this folder. It says create install media. Okay, let's just put this on the side, and I want you to open up terminal. And under terminal, go ahead and type sudo, sudo space And remember the icon here that we talked about? Click and drag and drop onto the terminal. So the next thing you want to do is dash volume space. And do you remember the thumb drive, the USB drive that we just erased? Okay, so go ahead and drag this icon onto the terminal. Okay, once you're done that, what you want to do is you want to click on dash application path, one word, no space. Okay, one word, no space. And then go ahead and press, after application path, you need to have a space. Right after that, remember we were at the application folder screen. So you want to go back until you bring you back to this application folder, and where you can see this installer icon again. So go ahead and click and drag this icon onto your terminal and hit enter. At this point, you should see it prompts you for a password. So this is the password that you entered to log into your computer. And you're going to see, if you wish to continue, type Y and press return. Okay, it's telling you that to continue, we need to erase the volume of your USB drive. So we agree to that. Press Y and hit return. And it starts erasing the USB drive. I'm going to pause the video and let the process to go through. This installation may take about 20 to 25 minutes. So just stay tuned, just leave it on, and once it's done, you will see that it says complete. So you would go from 0%, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way to 100. All right, so just leave it, let it run, and I'll come back for the next steps. All right, once it's done, you will see on the terminal that says install media now available, and which means it's all done. Okay, so once it's all done, go ahead and type exit. Process completed, and you can close the terminal and pretty much go ahead and eject your USB drive. Okay, once it's all done, you can unplug the USB and bring the USB to the computer that you will be installing the Fresh OS on it, and I'll be showing you right now. All right, so this step here, I'll be installing a Fresh OS on this iMac, and this iMac here has the SSD replaced. So it's a brand new SSD without the Mac OS on it. And earlier video, we created a OS bootable USB drive. So with this US bootable drive, we can go ahead and install OS onto this new SSD on this iMac. So let's get started. Go ahead and insert the USB in the back of the iMac. Okay, once you have done that, go ahead and turn on the iMac. And what you want to do is press and hold the Alt on your keyboard. So press and hold the Alt key. So at this point, you can see that we have the Mac SSD drive here and also USB bootable drive. So click on that bootable USB drive and just wait until the load is done. Okay, so once the loading bar is completed, you will see Mac OS utility screen, and go ahead and select this utility. Click continue. So on the internal part, you would see that I have my SSD installed. This is a new SSD, so it doesn't have any information on it, and I can go ahead and erase. But for you, if you have data on the disk, please make sure you make a backup before you click erase. So by clicking erase, this will erase all the information and the data on your hard disk. Okay, for my case, this is a brand new SSD. It doesn't have data, and I'll go ahead and click erase. And I'll just name it as Mac SSD and click erase. Okay, once it's done, click done. Go ahead and close this window, and you can see this button that says install macOS. Select that and go ahead and click continue. And click continue again. You want to read through the license and agreement and click agree, and click agree again. Go ahead and select the hard drive. This is the internal drive, my SSD drive, which I erase and rename as Mac SSD. So I select this internal SSD drive and I click install. So this installation may take about 7 minutes or so. So once the installation is done, you would see a widget that pops up, and you kind of go through that first name, last name, the username, and the login password. Just go through the step-by-steps as the screen will walk you through it. So pretty much at this point here, we have installed the new SSD drive. We created a USB bootable thumb drive, and right now we're doing the fresh OS install. So pretty much it's all done at this point. We just gotta wait for this OS Mojave to complete, and once this is all completed, you would have a fresh Mac OS on your computer. So I hope this tutorial give you an idea and help you what you need to do. And if you have any question, comment below, and till next time, take care.